And finally, Magnus climbs up.
I was expecting this match on the last round, honestly.
Yeah. So it's Vladimir Fedoseev from Russia against Magnus Carlsen from Norway.
E4, E5, knight F3, we have this
Knight
on the
F3,
board.
knight C6. And this, I would say, means that Magnus gives a lot of respect to his opponent, answering with E5. Because you remember what he was doing yesterday when he was playing strong players still, but when he was not doing all that good, he was playing some really weird openings like D6, G6, something like that. Now it's a serious business. So he goes for E5, and Roy Lopez has played A6.
And seems the Carlsen is the only person so far who can stop Fedoseev.
We don't know. Yeah, but it's just
still
that
no lose after 11 rounds.
all the others failed to save. And Rauf Mamedov, I had a chat with him during the break. It turns out he was winning a couple of times. He was winning a couple of times in this game, which you can expect with his opponent's king being on G4. But in the end, it was Fedoseev to make an easy win. Right, so rook E1, B5, bishop goes to B3, and D6. So no Marshall from Magnus Carlsen. I mean, one of the lines you expect him to play would be castle and then to go for this D5 sacrifice. No, this time he plays D6, C3, castles, H3 I assume. No, it's actually not H3 but D4. So Fedoseev goes for... I'm actually not sure what's considered to be the main line nowadays, because a lot of people prefer to play an early D3, like 6D3. Some still go for the classical H3 in this position, but D4 is of course a possible move. Bishop G4, bishop goes to E3. Not that easy to, to get the play with black. I mean, black's position is solid usually in this line, but to get the real fight going, it's something not very usual. Well, Magnus takes on D4 early, which is, I'm not sure what's considered to be the best move here.
We can see on the screen Dingley
Ren walking in the playing hall. Whom he's playing against? Can you please check the pairing, because seems that something has happened, because I don't believe that the game is already finished. So Dingley Ren has to play.
Who probably did not appear on the board or happened.
Yeah, that's something really unexpected.
I don't see the moves.
Something really unexpected has happened.
Maybe something happened. And also, when I was out, I saw some medical group.
Here's Viktor Lesnichka. Something has happened. He is in the playing hall. And then
This is his
I don't know.
opponent.
Yeah, they are leaving.
We can't even read anything from their faces.
Yeah, we will have to check what happened. What is the result of this one? Yeah, but it's really, really weird. Right, back to Fedoseev and Carlsen. So that's what goes on there. Knight went to A5 and knight BD2 played by Vladimir Fedoseev. Interestingly enough, well, he's fine with the exchange of this bishop on B3, which is accepted immediately by Magnus Carlsen. He takes the bishop. He likes to take. I mean, bishops are better than knights. A lot of people believe in that. And interestingly, knight B2, knight BD2 was played pretty quickly. Now Fedoseev has started to think. So, does it mean that he did not expect Carlsen to take? Because I would think that's the first thing you consider here. Like, your opponent goes knight A5, preparing C5, but also with the idea to take on B3. And then after knight B3, you allow knight B3, and after knight B3 you start to think. Well, the problem is that knight B3, knight E4 is of course unacceptable, and after queen takes B3, apart from other stuff, black has the possibility to take here, where you will have to recapture with the pawn. right? And who knows what's that? I mean, some knight h5s are possible with the idea to play bishop g5, fighting for f4 square. So already unbalanced position that early in the game. On the second board, yeah, just go quickly through the pairing. On the second board, we have Peter Swidler playing with white against Wan Hao.
Both leaders with 8 points.
Yeah, board
Followed
3.
Anand Nepomniachtchi, 8 and 7.5 points.
So 7.5 for Nepomniachtchi and 8 points for
And we have
Anand.
first result on the board for 2 other players, Safarli, Eltach, and Mamedyarov.
Made a
Made
draw.
draw, yeah.
Okay. Not so many moves played after knight b3, so knight b3, pawn takes, c5, queen goes to c2, and after knight d7, white has played e4, e5. Quite an ambitious play by Fedoseev, I have to say so.
I'm looking for the games between these two players, and surprisingly I can only find one game. They played in 2014, And this is
in the
World
Rapid World
Blitz Championship.
Blitz.
Yes.
And what has happened there?
Fedosev, Carlsen, Fedosev lost with white pieces.
Okay, but that was 2 years ago, so he matured a lot.
More
Vladimir
than 2 years
Fedosev,
ago.
well, increased his rating and as well, I mean,
And also,
the quality of
according
plays.
to this tournament, Magnus is not in shape.
It's too early to say. It's too early to say. It wasn't a really great success day one, but you know, it's. I mean, let's see if he will step on the highest step in the pedestal by the end of this day. I will not say that he is out of shape. E5, c takes d4. Bishop takes was played pretty quickly, so the position gets simplified. Black should have no problems at all. The question will be, can Black, get something? I mean, can Black try to play for win this one? Because he does have a pair of bishops, but the position is too simplified. So pawn takes, knight takes. This happens. Yeah, knight takes on e5, bishop takes on e5. I think that will be the position. It's not that easy for. I mean, white has quite a nice coordination of his pieces. I know. Wait. And how about rook c8, queen e4, right? Yeah, I just thought rook c8 and the queen is hanging and the knight is about to be lost. After bishop c3, black has b4, but there is queen e4 comes to black's rescue.
And
f5 and then queen
e3.
e3 or queen d4, queen e3, bishop g5, black... if bishop g5, white has bishop f4. Now, f5 is... I mean, you only play this if you are sure it's winning material, right? Because otherwise it's kind of dangerous. Oops, wrong position. Now that's the right one. Hang on a second, yeah. Rook c8 wasn't even played. Rook to e8 played by Magnus. I think that's he's doing the right thing. So not forcing matters.
Another result on the board 5. Rachmanov, Mamedov, Rauf made his draw.
Rauf Mamedov.
Yes, why I mixed these two names?
Yeah, let's only look at results which are, let's say, decisive, because we will have a lot of draws, right? So let's just not to get distracted. Yeah, it is an early draw as well, but yeah, I think for Rauf it's really important to calm down after this crazy game against Fedosev. So, well, draw is kind of fine, and then he has 3 more rounds to improve his result. Fedosev is still thinking after rook e8, so he's down to 7 minutes. He's down to 7 minutes. It's 6.5. 6.5. So it turns out the position is not that pleasant. Knight f1 perhaps? No, bishop goes to c3. Okay. Bishop goes to c3, so... Well, actually, he's trying to stabilize in a way. Right, so if black doesn't react to bishop c3, he will probably play b4 and then get control over dark squares. The bishop is stable on c3, then he will try to put the knight on d4 and c5. And if black plays b4 himself, then... Well, I'm actually not sure what happens in this case. Back to e5. He's getting the square for the knight. That much I can understand. But still, the b pawn will be fixed on light squares. Potentially, if we are talking about some endgame somewhere, right? This pawn is always a weakness. This pawn is always a weakness. So I don't quite like bishop c3. Let's see.
He goes bishop f8.
Magnus plays it, well, very simple. Bishop f8. The more we exchange, the better. That's what Magnus is thinking. Now white is allowed to play b4. Now white is allowed to play b4, but maybe not immediately, actually, because here black can take and come up with this. Now I think once again it's better for black. Because if you take, it's b4, bishop goes, rook to, rook a5 is a possibility, right? Queen a5. I just mean it's symmetrical position,
no, rook
but
a5 wasn't a possibility because it was bishop c7, no?
Queen c8, bishop c7, queen c8.
Queen e4.
Oh, bishop is protected. I mean, it's a possible move.
It's not, it's not winning,
like, it's not like white will win material or something. So far, after bishop f8, Fedoseev has played h3, which is a useful move, of course, making a luft for the king. Bishop goes to h5, so bishop will be put on g6. And perhaps Magnus keeps in mind that he will need f7, f6 somewhere, just to, to take the diagonal from this bishop, and then bishop can go to g6 or f7. So I still like black's position. I think it's quite unpleasant for Fedoseev already after only 20 moves. And the time situation, so Magnus has twice as much time as his opponent. Fedoseev down to 5 minutes only. Queen to f5, which practically forces black to go bishop g6, but I don't think black has any...
we can see on the clock, Fedoseev has 5 minutes, while Magnus has 10 minutes on the clock.
So bishop g6, I guess, and I'm not sure what's the plan for Fedoseev here. Well, maybe just to put the queen on f3, because I thought of some trades like taking on e8, going queen e5, but first of all, black is not forced to trade the queens, and even if he does, he's still somewhat better. So, looks like Fedoseev can only... I mean, he's kind of trying to make a draw in this case, strangely, with the white pieces. Right after the opening, it's already very, very pleasant for black. Queen to f4. Oh well, queen f4 makes sense, of course, yes. Protecting the knight and preparing for b3, b4. Actually, my queen f3 was a really terrible move, because then black would have taken gun b4 and win the knight on d2, right? If bishop e5, black still takes, and if rook taken, this rook hanging as well. So queen f4, getting control over dark squares. But still, I think Magnus's position is quite good. He can swap the rooks on e1 and go a5. Maybe that's what he has to do.
Yeah, he
Let's
took
see.
the rook.
He has
Let's see what
taken.
he's gonna play.
Has taken the rook. Guess rook takes, yes, and yeah, a5. White most likely will play b4. He doesn't want black to play b4. So. And then
He's going queen d7.
Yeah, he goes queen d7. So still not rushing, no rush. So he doesn't want to.
Maybe he wants to come rook a8 to trade these pieces to.
Yeah, that's possible. But at some point you have to keep some pieces on the board, right? Otherwise, how do you win?
Yes.
How do you win? I think that was a bit slowish. I mean, I'm not sure, and apparently there was some antidote for white after a5, but I still like this move a bit more, because after queen d7, I mean, it was just too slow. f6, and it allowed black to go bishop b4. After rook e8, Magnus, decided to play rook e8, to swap the rooks. Bishop f8, king f8, b4, knight d4, black. I don't see how black is planning to win this one. It's really, really tough. It might be, in fact, one of those positions where, everyone would think, it will be a draw, and all of a sudden Magnus will pull some victory in seemingly equal positions. So he does improve the situation. The tricky thing is that if queens are coming off, then black's king is much closer to the center. So I say, if you trade the queens with white, you have to have the king somewhere around e3. But as long as queens are on the board, you don't want your king closer because it can.
White pieces are very perfectly located, but he has to play moves.
Yeah, I mean, it's once again, it's not easy to say where you want this knight to be. I mean, on d4, it's
what about
nice.
Knight b3 right now?
b3 to c5? I don't know. We'll see. Knight goes to c5 and... Yeah, okay, I mean, maybe I can actually try something like that already. Trying to swap the queens as long as... Or even queen f4. Even queen f4. Keeping an eye on this one. If the queens are exchanged, that I'm hoping my king will be fast. Knight c5, I'm answering with bishop c8 always.
But knight a5 will never allow king to come on c4.
Knight?
Not now, I mean...
On a5, but knight on a5 has no moves, then...
king come on f1,
king
e2.
f1, okay, king d6.
King e2.
King goes here. I mean, I'm not sure if you are happy playing knight a5, and otherwise this No, so you probably do this and just try to stop me. But once again, I actually...
Also, if look at these f pawns, they are also weak. So if knight stocks on a5, then king can come to the king side to f3.
How is that? This one?
Yeah.
King goes to d4.
King f3.
Okay, here,
Take
here.
on.
Yeah, you take, I go here. No, I mean with black king being active, it's always... I'm sure it's always black who is trying. I might not be winning, but this is clearly better for black. The problem is that I think white will not exchange the queens. That's another story. So when I actually like your move, but after queen f4, you just give a check or go queen c3, and then put the knight on c5.
Yeah.
Still no move from Fedoseev, who is down to 2.5 minutes. That's actually a situation that you have to avoid, I think. I know that he played something, knight e2. So he wants the knight on c3, it seems. Instead of d4, he wants the knight on c3. He went knight to e2. Magnus has played bishop c6.
He goes
Knight
back
back
d4.
to d4. Kind of asking, huh? Maybe we
What?
make a draw.
And next?
Yeah, maybe we make a draw here.
Bishop d5.
Bishop to d5. Okay.
Queen c3. King goes to f7.
King to f7, yes. So, well, he understands, yeah, well, he cannot bring the king closer. Some h5, h4, getting even more space, maybe. Well,
can now queen come to e3? To set up some position. If trading the queens on e3, then white can play b3 in case of if king comes to d5. And look, king can't come anywhere. This e3 pawn supports d knight.
But no, well, actually, I thought that you want to put the knight on c3. That's kind of a better way to create the border. You don't have the pawn. You don't want the pawn on b3. It will always be hanging. No, I think you do this.
Let's see, queen.
Queen
d3.
Let's see, queen d3.
Queen d3 attacks to h7.
Knight d4, bishop d5, queen c3, king goes here, queen d3, attacking h7. Yeah, it's tough.
King d7.
It's tough for Magnus. King g7, it's a check from f5 and then go to e3, so it's always... I think his king is simply too weak. He'll continue playing, of course. He'll continue playing, but it won't be... Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure he's going to win. That's, of course, the key game. Yeah, he wins, he immediately
and all these draws
on
the top birds is a very nice job for Fedoseev. That means that nobody can catch if...
as long as he's not losing.
He's not losing, yeah.
Because if he loses, it's the other way around. It's very good. It's very good result for Carlsen. No, it's very good result for Carlsen then. No, but it's always like that. If you win and your rivals make draw, it's always a nice result for you.
Black has 5 minutes and white has 2 minutes on the clock.
2:20, but first Magnus has to take a decision what he does with ups. No, that's wrong. What he does with his h7 pawn. Yeah, that's once again Norwegian media. Yeah, filming, making pictures of Magnus. I mean, that's a lot of attention, of course, he's on him. It's a lot of attention on him. Oh, wow, he played a move, and the move is not the move that comes... I mean, it's not the first move in the position that you're considering.
The candidate, yeah.
Queen d3, king f8. Well, to be honest, it doesn't look like, the move you are playing happily. It's just that you are trying to avoid immediate simplifications, this, that, and you come up with this move just to keep the game going,
I still like queen e3, but I think it's queen c3.
Queen c3, but you don't need to. I mean, queen e3, maybe you do make a draw, but it's like it becomes really one-sided. With queens on the board, so far black doesn't have any threats, right? So maybe, you know, that's some checks. Maybe it's easier. Well, actually, it's already some check on c8 followed by knight f5, you know. Maybe white will have active ideas of his own. h5 played by Magnus Carlsen, so he tries to get more space on the king side. Queen to c5, I guess. No, I know. I don't see. I mean, some moves have been played. f3. Ah, okay. f3. Magnus goes for h4. So I'd say now the endgame looks pretty dangerous for white. "20 seconds left, and we all know how dangerous, I mean, how what a classy player in the endgame Magnus Carlsen is. Knight went to c2, so he's trying to set it like this: king to d4, knight to e3,
right,
taking a lot of control.
It wasn't but bishop b3 and knight d4.
b3, knight d4. Now a possibility of bishop c. Yeah, that's a possible move. Bishop to c4, opting to play bishop f1. So for instance, if white tries to do the same, it's bishop f1 first. Then after king f2, it's bishop d3. So winning a tempo this way, and then playing king d6 already. Yeah, I'm still not sure. Well, Magnus goes back to d5. Bishop goes back to d5, and the knight goes back to c2 quickly. King e6. So now king d4 is allowed. And what happens in this case?
What is his idea?
Not sure. Not sure.
17 seconds on the board.
15 seconds left. Bishop c. Well, knight e1. How is that? Is that the position? Yeah, king is still on e3. Knight e1.
Seriously?
What's the point of it?
King d4.
Now, of course, bishop c4 is a serious move. So that after
maybe
knight
he
d3,
wants to play something like f4 to trade some more.
But then you expose the g2 pawn. Then you expose the
then
g2
will be
pawn.
g3 next move.
No, I think actually what he really wants is to try to get the knight somewhere to like c5 maybe. But once again, it looks really strange. Wait a sec. f4 is not a move at all. If I mean, pass somehow f4, I might want to do this. You know, obviously you know this trick, right? Knight takes g2 and then h3 and the pawn cannot be stopped.
He just made this move.
What? f4 he played? But I'm still not sure if it's a good move. Bishop went to c4, so no more this idea of a sacrifice.
And king f5.
f4, king f5. He
F
takes
takes
g5.
G, F takes G.
F takes g. No, but I'm telling you, I find that this one is very, very dangerous. This pawn on g2. How do you make? I mean, yeah, if you can make g3, maybe g4 here. Strangely, g4. So if black takes, I'm in time to go there and then to take. I still don't like it. Check.
No,
bishop
then king
e4, or king e4 and comes to king c.
No, he played knight f3. He follows my advices.
So 4, king f5 takes.
Knight f3.
Knight f3. Playing on seconds.
Bishop d5, knight d1, bishop b7, knight f3.
Wait, is that?
As a king. Wait, no.
No, it's not like this. And once again,
It's
our
king.
digital board falls behind. So it was this.
He managed to play g3,
takes, here, bishop here,
bishop b7,
bishop b7,
g3.
g3.
40 seconds on the clock for
40
white.
seconds for Fedoshev, but he seems to... I mean, now it looks like he'll exchange all the pawns.
Yeah.
So it will be nothing left for Magnus to play with. And just in case, if it's ever a pawn endgame, he has this spare move with b3. Okay, black takes on g3. Now perhaps the last chance will be to try to run with the king.
It is bishop c8.
Bishop c8, knight to d2, covering some squares. So what? King?
Then knight can come back on f3.
King e5. And then a desperate try to run here. But then this pawn is dangerous, right? So it's h4 if you take some king f4.
King f5
it's
to
not
block,
that easy.
yeah.
Not that easy for the bishop to... I mean, it has to be enough for a draw for white. I don't really see black losing this one.
Black goes back to bishop b7.
Bishop b7 again. So he will come back to this idea probably, just not with bishop on c8.
Jump on c5, or it doesn't make any sense?
No, I mean it does make sense, but again, yeah, I'm not sure. No, he goes back to f3. Goes back to f3. Yeah, this will be a very important result for Fedoshev if he holds himself against Magnus Carlsen.
We have bishop d5.
So this, knight to f3, bishop d5. So as I said, Magnus will try to run with the king to the other side of the board. Just he wants to improve the position to a maximum. Would be really nice to see what goes on the board. Back to d2. Back to d2. Yeah, this g5 pawn, the only pawn which is left on the king side for black, is really, really weak, right? So
and kings cannot simply leave this pawn.
King e5,
like
it's always a check. Yeah, I mean, probably it is the position where it's still black who is kind of trying. But
it was bishop f7 and knight f3.
Bishop f7, knight back to f3.
Maybe he wants to block this pawn from h5.
But what's then? What's then?
And
Because
now
king
e5,
e5 it's
king
still
d4,
a check.
King d5.
You mean to do it this way?
Pawn is blocked so far.
To do it this way. There is also... I'm not in time with the king, by the way. Yeah, that's interesting. That's actually an unpleasant idea. So we might see this one later on. So for the time being, he goes bishop e8. So he tries to have this position under the most circumstances. Fedoshev, look, he doesn't look at the board. So he's perhaps checking the other results.
Yeah, here we have this
bishop
position.
Knight goes, bishop to g6, knight goes, bishop to h5. Well, he managed to accumulate some time, Vladimir Fedoseev. He's on 1 minute already. And looks pretty confident. A check. Time to go king e4 maybe, or king e5. King e5, and then this knight goes there. Knight to... No, he's just coming back to b3, because I thought this was also fine, or no? Ah, no, this is how you lose, because king d5, knight c5, a5. That's the problem.
Yeah, we have this position, knight f3, king d5.
King to d5. Okay. So that, knight d2, here, check, king goes to d5, knight g5, king to c4,
king,
knight e4 quickly, king takes b4. This is still tense.
You know what, knight d2 can block this king to come.
This is still tense. Knight d2, okay, I move the pawn maybe, and then come king c5 and play b4.
That like so long time. King can also come to f4, g5 and raise the pawn.
Okay, he didn't play knight d2. He went for king f4.
Yeah, because in case of king b3, there is knight c5. Yet he doesn't need this.
Yeah, he will.
He doesn't need this.
After a5, yeah, exactly. After king f4, if black plays a5, then maybe
probably
knight d2. Then probably knight d2. And yeah, and nothing can be done, it seems. I'm not sure if Magnus had any chances, but
a5.
It seems he no longer has them. Knight d2, and I can't imagine how do you play this one for a win. Knight d2, right.
Yeah.
a4, so still trying. King to e4.
Yeah, he simply goes to the pawns.
King to c5. And it's not that simple, because after this it's a check, and all of a sudden this king is getting mated.
I can see that Grishuk finished.
Grishuk has
won.
won. Yeah, Grishuk has won. Did his technical job, and then there is some argument between Yu Yang-yi and Boris Savchenko. I think, yeah, I don't know what's that, but I think there was a bit of a conflict situation. We still stay here with Fedoseev and Magnus Carlsen. After king e4, a4, what has happened? King went to e3, b4, check on d4. Don't quite understand what's that. King to d5?
What he's doing?
Wait a sec.
Oh my god.
King d5, yes. So that means after this check, he's running with the king and goes a3. Yeah, I mean, you cannot take the bishop because a3, you do not stop this pawn. Well, this is getting critical for Fedoseev, because now the a3 pawn will be very dangerous. The next move being bishop g6. If yeah, wait, it's once again we fall behind on this board. It's king e3, this a check, and king went to d5. How much time Fedoseev has? That's still enough. It's roughly a minute, right? 47 seconds, and the move he played was knight back to d2, and as I said, yeah, next black's move is bishop g6. It's problematic. The king cannot come here. I mean, with king on c1,
yeah, but okay,
there would be no discussion.
How the black
is, or just outright a3. I mean, well, actually a3 wins. Takes. With king here, you don't need a knight. Knight b3, king c4.
Knight a1.
Knight a1, and king c3. And I just, take it. I just take it.
And on time to come back on a2, b3.
Yeah, but it's not important. It's with the knight. It's a drawish position. I mean, when having pawn on a2, it's still winning.
Yeah, because
you go king c1, but
tempo.
you get into Zugzwang. Not pleasant position for Fedoseev at all. King e2, he ends up playing, and a3 played by Magnus Carlsen. B takes has to be played. B takes, and he's not in time. And I know this position. It's winning. It's winning in a very nice way. After knight b3, you go king c4, you go king c3. Well, and maybe this pawn makes difference. It will be very interesting. Because without this pawn, I know how to win this one. It's also not trivial, because when you wait... no, it is trivial. Because you just wait. You just wait. And sooner or later, he has to give the pawn.
Yeah.
Then he has knight c2. We will have this one. It will be a very, very... it's a very instructive endgame. King c3, and then he can just wait with the bishop. And he also knows this. He also knows this endgame. Yes, bishop h5 he takes. Now he will show us how to win this one. Bishop 2. Yeah, you need the bishop on a4. Bishop a4? No, not on a4. King b3. Yeah, bishop a4, king b3, king a3. Magnus Carlsen wins this game, and he becomes a new leader with 3 rounds to go. Look, look. He tries to remember something, but not this game already, because this one is done. That's a maneuver. It's actually, interestingly enough, it's not such an easy position to win, because somewhere here you can make a terrible mistake by going king b3 too early, because this is a Zugzwang. But after king b3, it's knight d4, and it's a perpetual check. It turns out. So it's very important to control the d5 square. He didn't spend any seconds. He knew it. He didn't spend any time. So I'm sure he knew the exact method how to win this position.
This match totally changed the situation of the
So what will be the situation? So it will be...
Too many people sharing in first place. Vishy Anand, Peter Swiller, Vladimir Fedoseev, and Wang Hao, and Magnus Carlsen.
Are you sure?
Why?
No, I thought Carlsen will be... No. You made a mistake. He will be the sole leader.
Oh my God.
It will be a lot of people, as you said, sharing the place, but not the first one. The second place, yes. And the leader will be Magnus Carlsen.
Look at his face. He had some fighter war.
Yeah, and no myth. Fedoseev simply loses on time. So a first loss for Vladimir Fedoseev in this, looked boring from the beginning, but it was a thrilling endgame. It was a really, really thrilling endgame where Magnus Carlsen shown the algorithm. And Fedoseev still cannot believe it. He has lost what seemed to be an absolutely drawish endgame.
Carlsen in his style storming
what a round. What can I say? What a round. A very important victory for Magnus Carlsen. He wins 2 in a row with the black pieces? Is that right? What was the previous game? He has won the previous game as well, but he has won against Pansulaya with black, and now he wins one more time with black against Fedoseev. He's getting closer to these 11.5 points, which we said the leader is going to have. And if he wins all the rest, he might even have 12. Impressive performance by Magnus Carlsen.